All right. Hello, welcome back, family. And again, I am your host, Shiafia, aka Crystalia, aka Mary Magdalene, aka Sister Soldier, aka. Okay, so today we're going to be reading about New Year's Eve. All right. Now, according to what I've read in um, different texts, there are multiple New Year's throughout the year, and that's according to even Jewish tradition. So, we're just going to be reading about New Year's Eve around the world, okay, for a few minutes before we have to get out of here. All right. How y'all feeling today? Good morning. Grand rising. Beautiful day today. Sun shining. It's a little cool, but we're loving it. Love. All right. Want to hear it? Here we go. So, New Year's Eve in the Gregorian calendar refers to the evening or commonly the entire day of the last day of the year, the 31st of December. In many countries, New Year's Eve is celebrated with dancing, eating, drinking, and watching or lighting fireworks. Many Christians attend a watch night service to mark the occasion. New Year's Eve celebrations generally continue into New Year's Day, the 1st of January, past midnight. The local time zone determines the advent of the new year. The first places to welcome the new year are west of the international date line, the Line Islands, part of Kiribati, Samoa, and Tonga in the Pacific Ocean. Interesting. In contrast, American Samoa, Baker Island, and Howland Island, part of the United States, minor outlying islands, are among the last. By region, in Africa, Algeria, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with family and friends. In the largest cities, there are fireworks at midnight. The Martyrs Memorial is the main attraction during the celebration, while some Algerians prefer um, to celebrate outside the country, generally in Tunis or Paris. At 8 p.m. AST, the president's message of greetings is read on TV. The EPTV network airs an entertainment show with different hosts and guests. In Egypt, New Year's Eve is celebrated with fireworks and often evening parties with friends and family. In Ghana, Ghanaians celebrate New Year's Eve by going to church. Others go to nightclubs, pubs, or take to the streets to celebrate. At midnight, fireworks are displayed across various cities of Ghana, especially in Accra and Tema or Tema. How y'all doing? I'm not hiding my face. I'm looking at the screen. The screen is very sunny. It's very sunny, and I can't really see. So, how y'all doing today? And don't worry about my face. I'm married. Okay. All right. So, in Morocco, New Year's Eve is celebrated in the company of family and friends. Moroccans get together to eat cake, dance, and laugh. Traditionally, Moroccans celebrated at home, but some prefer to go to nightclubs. At midnight, fireworks are displayed across Ain Dab, if whatever that says, I think, in the Corniche of Casablanca. David, brother David, how are you? In Nigeria, Nigerians often celebrate the New Year's Eve by going to church. Others go to nightclubs and parties organized by individuals, communities, and other organizations. In Lagos, a year end festival known as Lagos Countdown, later renamed One Lagos Fiesta, was first held in 2012 as part of an effort to establish tourism oriented New Year's festivals more in line with those of other major metropolitan areas. In Rwandans celebrate New Year's Eve by going to church, taking part in social gatherings, and organizing family activities. The services usually start from 6 p.m. for the Roman Catholic Church and 10 p.m. for the Protestants. At midnight, the president delivers an end of year address, which is broadcast live on many radio and television stations. Fireworks were introduced in recent years, with the most significant displays happening at Kigali Convention Center, Ribeiro Hill, and Mount Kigali. In South Africa, South Africans vote on a top 10 music countdown before the 31st of December. When the countdown reaches number 1, the song with the most votes plays on all the country's radio stations. Fireworks are lit all around South Africa. South Africans engage in occasional drinking and braais. In South Sudan, the South Sudanese attend church services at many churches in Juba. The service begins at 9 p.m. At the stroke of midnight. The famous carol, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, is sung to mark the end and beginning of the year with a blessing. The service ends at 12:30 a.m. In Tunisia, Tunisians celebrate by spending the evening in restaurants and hotels and exchange gifts and flowers or travel outside Tunisia to spend New Year's Eve in a European country. But most Tunisians prefer to celebrate it at home in a family evening with relatives and friends. Tunisians buy cakes or prepare them at home in addition to holding dinner banquets, as roast chicken remains the main dish for this occasion and staying up until midnight to eat cake as the first moments of the new year arrive. In recent years, the popular Tunisian film Shofli Hall New Year's Eve is broadcast every year, ending just minutes before the new year. This has become an annual tradition. Let's get to America. Let's see. Okay, we'll do Israel. In New Year's has been observed in Israel since the introduction of the Gregorian calendar in 1918. It is referred to as Sylvester to distinguish it from the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, which falls in either September or October on the Gregorian calendar. It is largely celebrated through social gatherings and parties. The New Year's holiday has historically attracted a negative stigma among parts of the Israeli Jewish population due to its connection to Pope Sylvester I, who is widely considered to have been an anti Semite. As a result, celebrations have historically been modest in comparison to other countries. In December 2014, wearables manufacturer Jawbone published a report estimating that only 67.4% of Israelis were awake at midnight on New Year's Eve in 2013, and most people only stayed up as late as 12:45 a.m. IST. During the era of mandatory Palestine in the early 1930s, promotional material for formal New Year's Eve parties and masquerade balls were targeted primarily towards Arabic and English speaking residents. By contrast, posters for Hanukkah parties were written in Hebrew. These parties also became popular among German and Austrian Jews that had immigrated to avoid the rise of Nazi Germany. The increasing popularity of Sylvester faced criticism from the Orthodox population, including the Hapwell Ha-Mizrachi, who considered them contrary to Zionist values. In 1934, it was reported that the Municipal Council of Tel Aviv had passed a resolution to ban Sylvester parties, calling them contrary to the spirit and traditions of the people of Israel. However, reported efforts to ban the holiday were unsuccessful or left unenforced, and it continued to increase in popularity, especially among secular populations. Following the post Soviet Aliyah, Novi God was imported into Israel by immigrants. The observance was initially obscure outside of Israel's Russian Jewish community and also faced stigma from those who mistook its traditions for being Christmas or Sylvester. In the mid 2010s, a campaign was launched to promote awareness of the holiday among the 1.5 uh, generation of immigrants as well as non Russian residents. By the 2010s, public awareness of Novi God had increased. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu began to acknowledge Novi God in his holiday greetings, and it became more common for retailers to stock Novi God related goods and hold promotions for the holiday. In a 2020 survey, 72% of Israelis surveyed stated that stated they were familiar with the holiday, while 54% did not perceive Novi God to be part of the country's culture. Very, very interesting. Say, what's that in the sky? A bird, a plane? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. In Lebanon, Lebanese people celebrate New Year's Eve with a dinner attended by family and friends. The dinner features traditional dishes such I know, I know. So, these celebrations could also take place in restaurants and clubs. Game shows are also organized where contestants can try to win money. The countdown to New Year's is broadcast through the leading TV channel, and the celebrations usually continue until sunrise. Fireworks are lit throughout the night. All right, let's see. Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, Europe. Hmm, let's see, we can do France. Okay, yeah, France. So in France, New Year's Eve, La Saint Sylvester, is usually celebrated with a feast, Réveillon de la Saint Sylvester, Cap d'Eni in northern Catalonia. This feast customarily includes special dishes including foie gras, seafood such as oysters and champagne. The celebration can be simple, intimate dinner with friends and family, or une soirée Dansanti, a much fancier ball. On New Year's Day, Le Jour de Ian, friends and family exchange New Year's resolutions, kisses, and wishes. Some people eat ice cream. Paris and Marcel host the main festivities of the day. A sound and light show using video mapping techniques has been held on the Arc de Triomphe since 2014, except in 2021 and 2022 due to the COVID 19 pandemic, ending with a fireworks display at midnight. It is broadcast live on major television networks like France 2. Okay, here we go. Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Malta, Netherlands. Okay, so something about Sylvester. Sylvester and Tweety Bird. United Kingdom, Wales, North America. Okay. So, in Canada, New Year's Eve traditions and celebrations in Canada vary regionally but are typically similar to those in the United States, with a focus on social gatherings and public celebrations such as concerts and fireworks displays. The Canadian men's junior hockey team has usually played their final preliminary round game at the IIHF World Junior Championship on New Year's Eve. The CBC's English and French language television networks have been well known for airing sketch comedy specials on New Year's Eve, lampooning the major events and news stories of the year. From 1992 through 2019, CBC Television aired Year of the Farce, an annual special produced by the radio company Trout Royal Canadian Air Farce. The special became part of a weekly program's series finale. The troupe continued to produce Year of the Farce as an annual reunion special until 2019. In 2024, the CBC's news satire series this has this hour has 22 minutes took on a similar role with an hour-long New Year's Eve pregame special. The CBC's French network, EC Radio Canada Tele, airs a similar special Bye Bye, which has been presented by various comedians and tropes, originally running from 1968 to 1998. It was revived in 2006 by the Quebecois troupe Rock at Bell's Orioles to mark its 25th anniversary. The program has continued to air annually since, although it was placed on hiatus for 2009 after the previous year's edition was criticized by viewers for sketches they deemed to be derogatory and racist. Four out of the five highest rated television broadcasts in Quebecois history have been editions of Bye Bye, with the 2021 edition being seen by a record 4.862 million viewers. Okay, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, and the United States. Okay, so in the United States, New Year's Eve is celebrated via a variety of social gatherings and large scale public events such as concerts, fireworks shows, and drops. An event inspired by time balls, where an item is lowered or raised over the course of the final minute of the year. Drop events are typically patterned after the annual ball drop held at New York City's Times Square, where an illuminated ball is lowered down a 21-meter high or 70-foot pole on the roof of one Times Square. The event has been held since 1907. The ball itself, which is adorned with Waterford crystal panels and an LED lighting system, has been displayed atop the building year round since 2008. Its most recent iteration, scheduled to debut for 2026, is 12 and a half feet or 3.8 meters in diameter with a weight of over 5,600 kilograms or 12,300 pounds. Drop events often use either a ball in imitation of Times Square or items that represent local culture or history, such as Atlanta's Peach Drop, which reflects Georgia's identity as the Peach State. New York City and Times Square served as the focal point for national media coverage of the holiday. Band leader Guy Lombardo and his band, the Royal Canadians, were well known for their annual broadcast from New York City. Their signature performance of Auld Lang Syne at midnight helped make the standard synonymous with the holiday. Beginning on radio in 1929, Lombardo moved to CBS television from 1956 to 1976, adding coverage of the ball drop. Following Lombardo's death, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, which premiered for 1973 on NBC and moved to ABC for 1975, became the dominant New Year's Eve special on U.S. television, especially among younger viewers, with Dick Clark having anchored New Year's coverage, including New Year's Rockin' Eve and the one-off ABC 2000 Today for 32 straight years. After Clark suffered a stroke in December 2004, Regis Philbin guest hosted the 2005 edition. Due to a lingering speech impediment brought upon by the stroke, Clark retired as host and was succeeded by Ryan Seacrest for 2006, who later served as the executive producer of the special, but continued making limited appearances on the special until his death in 2012. Other notable New Year's events are held in New York besides those in Times Square since 1984. The Cathedral of St. John the Divine in Manhattan has hosted the annual New Year's Eve Concert for Peace, which was founded in 1984 by composer Leonard Bernstein or Bernstein. The New York Roadrunners host a midnight run event at Central Park, which features a fireworks show and a foot race around the park that begins at midnight. Other notable celebrations include the Las Vegas Strip's America's Party, which consists of a ticketed concert event at the Fremont Street Experience and a public fireworks show at midnight that is launched from various casino resorts on the Strip. Nashville has typically held concerts featuring country music performers and a music note drop. Since 2021, the festivities have been televised by CBS as part of its special New Year's Eve Live, Nashville's Big Bash. Los Angeles, a city long without a major public New Year celebration, held an inaugural gathering in downtown's newly completed Grand Park to celebrate the arrival of 2014. The event included food trucks, art installations, and culminated with a projection mapping show on the side of Los Angeles City Hall near midnight. The inaugural event drew over 25,000 spectators and participants. For 2016, Chicago introduced an event known as Chi-Town Rising. Chi-Town Stand Up. In Miami, major celebrations are centered around the downtown core, including the raising of the Big Orange on the side of the Intercontinental Miami Hotel and concerts at Bayford Park, which were televised as a New Year's special on Fox. Pitbull's New Year's resolution until 2017 through 18. Major theme parks also hold New Year's celebrations. Disney and Universal theme parks, such as Walt Disney World Resort and Universal Orlando in Orlando, Florida, as well as Disneyland and Universal Studios Hollywood in California, are traditionally the busiest around the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So, that is just a quick summary for today. Okay, we'll go more deeply into New Year's and the meaning and the origins maybe later, maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned, guys.